Alright, welcome back to the Random Villager Challenge. I'm Kari, and today we are terraforming the island to be completely flat. But first we have a couple of chores on our plate today. I'm super excited but also kind of nervous to start terraforming the island because that means we're going to have to start decorating it. But first let's head over to Nook's Cranny and the shops and check out what they have to offer us. Ooh, okay, this little tea set over here is pretty cute, so we'll go ahead and purchase that. We need to purchase things to upgrade the shop anyway, so we might as well get the things that we think are kind of cute. This flag is really cute too, and I like it because it's like sea, beach type theme. We probably won't use it on this island, but I still think it's really cute, so we'll go ahead and get it. And then for the cabinet, I'm not really seeing too much. Maybe this white mosaic tile flooring, so we can use it to like counteract the dark walls that we're probably going to have in our house. So we'll go ahead and purchase that. And let's head over to Able Sisters real quick. Ooh, okay. We got some goth items back in the shop as well. But let's head into the fitting room real quick. Ooh, look at the space parka. It's so cute. Oh my gosh, these are adorable. We'll probably never use them, but I might actually buy one of them. And maybe I'll give it to my other island, because that is an adorable hoodie. We got this black beret, which is kind of cute. And what is a Glengarry? Is that how you say it? What is that? Is that like a sushi thing? I have no idea. I think we'll go ahead and purchase the beret and the hoodie, so we won't wear it out though because it doesn't fit our island theme. But we will purchase those. And let's head on outside. Okay, so we're gonna start up the Island Designer app and get started on flattening the island. Now this is gonna be the second time that I've actually flattened an island in Animal Crossing, because the first time was actually on my Switch Lite, where I flattened my entire island for the first time. Now I've actually only seen one method for flattening islands, and from what I've seen, it seems like people tend to do the waterscaping first. Because if you flatten like cliffs with water on them, you can't actually take down the cliff if it has water on it. So I think doing this method with the waterscaping first is actually one of the better methods. That way you clear out the cliffs first and you clear out the rest of the island, and that way all you have left to do is just take out the cliffs. So one topic that I wanted to discuss here today is, have you guys seen the new policy updates for Nintendo Switch? The new policy is actually cracking down on modded Switches, which I think is very interesting on why they are like doing this now. Because I think, haven't modded Switches been a thing for like, since kind of they came out? I'm not actually sure when modded Switches like started and like when the modding tools came out and were released and when all that stuff kind of started. But to me it seems like maybe they're trying to crack down on it so that people like will buy a Switch 2, and maybe the Switch 2 kind of has like a purpose behind like the modded Switches. Like maybe Nintendo doesn't want the Switch 2 to be modded, or they want people to like, you know, not use their modded Switches so that they have a reason to buy the Switch 2. So it could be a profit thing, it could be a money thing, but I do think it's kind of interesting. And if you haven't heard about the policy update, then basically what it says is if you are caught modding your Switch, this is what I believe it says. I didn't actually like read it myself because who reads policies, right? But what I think it says is if you are using a modded Switch and they catch you, I'm pretty sure they have the right to basically brick your console, which means that your console will no longer work. Now, before, if you had a modded Switch, which for the record, I do not have a modded Switch. I'm never planning on modding my Switch, nor will I ever mod my Switch. That's too many legal issues that I just don't want to get into. But if you have a modded Switch, I'm pretty sure what it means is that if they catch you with the modded Switch, they will brick your console, meaning it will no longer turn on, it will no longer work, you can no longer play on it. Now, I'm pretty sure that before, if you had a modded Switch, they would like block your access to Nintendo Online, or not even Nintendo Online. I think it was like you couldn't buy product from their stores, like on the Nintendo Switch app, where it was like Nintendo Store in the Nintendo Switch. So I think they like stopped you from being able to buy that. Correct me if I'm wrong, I'm not actually sure how it works, because like I said, I don't have a modded Switch, so I'm not sure like what the restrictions were on that. But it is kind of interesting how they're like now cracking down on the modded Switches, which can be a good thing and a bad thing. Like there's two different sides of the argument, right? Where it's like, oh, like I have this modded Switch, I'm not doing anything wrong with it, but like also it's modded, like you're kind of taking it out of what Nintendo originally wanted for their console. And then maybe you also have access to things that people who have vanilla Switches can't actually do. So it kind of like takes away the fairness in gaming, which, you know, people will also argue that as long as you're not doing it online, like you're not cheating online kind of thing, then like who cares? But also like, you know, someone who has a modded Switch can do more than somebody who doesn't have a modded Switch, and it leads to more opportunities for them. So I see both sides of the argument for, like, you know, a modded Switch, but I think maybe it could be a good thing. I don't actually know. One thing I was curious about was how it was actually going to affect the treasure islands, because treasure islands are made from modded Switches, right? So that means that if they are caught modding their Switch, which a lot of people actually stream their modded islands, these treasure islands, and stream them on Twitch and YouTube, and then couldn't Nintendo just like look at that and be like, okay, you're banned, you're banned, you're banned? I don't actually know the logistics of how it actually works. I don't know the legalities of, like, you know, what it means to get caught. Like, I don't know how they would catch you unless they like see you. Like, I don't know how they would catch you, right? So I don't know exactly how that works. If you do know, let me know in the comments down below, because that'd be kind of interesting to learn about. But yeah, back to the treasure island concept. How would that actually impact the treasure islands? Would they go after people who are using treasure islands, or would they only go after the people who are making the treasure islands? I would assume they'd only go after the people making the treasure islands, because if you're visiting, like, so I have a vanilla Switch. I have 2 vanilla Switches, right? I have no modded Switches, and I could technically go visit a treasure island, but my Switch is not modded. So technically, I don't think they could, like, come after me. But with that being said, it's still risky. You still don't want to really use treasure islands in case of, like legality getting in the way, and it's just safer not to do it, in my opinion. So if you're really worried about that, definitely don't visit treasure islands. But I don't think it's like, I don't know, I'm actually like kind of new to the space, so like I don't exactly know like what the rules are for treasure islands. But I think it's kind of interesting how this new policy update could affect the treasure islands and the people who use them or the people who make them. So yeah, apparently the new policy update is cracking down on modded Switches, to kind of sum up, and it will apparently break your console, meaning it will no longer be useful. It'll basically just be a paperweight, and you can't access anything. I think you might even, like, the screen, like, it may not even turn on. I don't know how, like, bricking works, but it's just, it would do nothing kind of thing. Like, you would have no access to your Switch anymore. And then I am kind of curious how that's going to affect treasure islands as well. And if you have any thoughts on this, do let me know down in the comments below, because I'm actually kind of interested in this. But moving forward, I want to talk more about the cliff terraforming and like the flattening of the cliffs, because I've never actually flattened an island before, besides like a couple weeks ago on my Switch Lite. And the only time I've seen somebody flatten an island is from Crossing Minute, who flattened his entire island for his RuneScape island that he was doing. And it seemed like he would do every other cliff column so that you're not like doing more work. So what I've kind of seen is, like, if you do the columns in line with each other, like you do one after the other, instead of skipping one in between, then you'll actually have to break the cliff twice in order to get it to actually break. But from what I've seen, the actual method to breaking down the cliffs is to skip one column each time, because otherwise you'll be just doing more work and it would make it less efficient. Another thing that kind of sucks with cliff flattening is that you have to remove everything off the cliff before you can actually break the cliff. Now, this does make sense, because if you have a tree on a cliff, you can't just destroy the tree and the cliff at the same time. Plus, this is Animal Crossing, so they want you to do more, and they want things to take a lot longer. So it makes sense why they do it this way. But yeah, if you're flattening your island for the first time, I recommend destroying all the water first off the cliffs and the flat part of your island. And then I recommend tearing everything down off the cliff, including flowers, wood, branches, trees, any items laying on the ground, and rocks. And that way you'll have a clean slate when you go to actually terraform. Now the weeds you don't actually need to get rid of. The weeds will break as soon as you break the cliff, but it's just nice to kind of have the weeds for the material. So jumping into the ideas for terraforming the actual island, I am trying to decide how I want to make this island look. Obviously, I want to make it really pretty. I want it to be extravagant. You know, I want it to live up to what I have in my head. And to be honest, I'm a little nervous for for trying to make this look how I imagine it in my head, because like I said, I have no experience with terraforming in Animal Crossing. So I'm a little nervous to get started, but I know like as soon as I get started, I should be okay, because it's all about learning and growing, right? So the more you do it, the more you'll get better at it. And if you're like me and you're just starting out, that's great. We can just learn together and grow together and see how it works. And if you're an expert at terraforming in Animal Crossing, any tips would be greatly appreciated. So I'm thinking I might want like a large area for my castle type house area, and I'm thinking I want to get like the castle walls and the castle towers and the castle gate, which would be great. So we're gonna need to make a lot of money on this island in order to buy all those items and buy a consecutive amount of those items. So maybe I'll make some money like off camera in order to not have the videos be like repetitive. That way it's not me just like selling a bunch of items, collecting a bunch of items, and then selling them again for each video. So I'll probably do some work off camera. That way we can just focus on the actual building and designing. Ooh, another good idea that somebody had in the comments was to do a park, and somebody else also mentioned to do a graveyard. Now I would love to have Lucky on the island for the graveyard section, and I'll make his house like the gravekeeper's house, and I think that would be so cute. And then we'll do like a little we'll make it to where it's like a slim piece of land that kind of leads up into like a circle of his house, and we'll have like water surrounding it. And then maybe it'll be like the graveyard will be also on that little like peninsula as well. And then for the park, I'm trying to think how I want to like what levels I want things to be on. I think I want my castle to be on like the 2nd level, maybe the 3rd. Ooh, you know what we could do? We could have our castle be like on the 3rd level. We could have our house on the 3rd level, but the castle wall could be like this grand entrance into the house, which could lead up like 2 cliffs, right? So we could have like 2 layers leading up to the house, and then I think that would be really cool because it would be like different layers of the castle, and it would like be very grand, you know? Grandiose is what I'm kind of shooting for the castle. So with that in mind, we have a castle section lined up. We're gonna want a park because we do have a bird. Or if you are just now catching the series, Piper was our random villager that we did get, and instead of doing a park themed, I chose gothic because she has a little like black lace shirt that I think is kind of on the gothic side. Therefore, we're gonna do a gothic themed island. But since Piper is a bird, we should have like a little park area, like a little bird watching area. I think that'd be really cute to kind of add into this gothic theme. That way we can get a little bit more aspects of the type of villager that she is. Additionally, we want to do a graveyard with Lucky on the island, if we can find him. If we can't find him, we'll have to find another groundskeeper, but I think Lucky is going to be perfect for this island. I think we'll be able to get him because we can use Nookazon, if anything, to actually purchase Lucky from somebody else who maybe has his amiibo or something. I'm not sure exactly how that works on Nookazon, but we'll figure it out. So with that, we'll have a graveyard, we'll have a castle, and we'll have a park. Now, I also want to include a shopping center area, which will be kind of like gothic, dark themed. I think it'd be so pretty. We'll get like a dark cobblestone or something to kind of put for the path. And then maybe we could have like a couple neighborhood areas splintered out somewhere on the island. And then they'll be on like different layers of the cliffs. I think would be really interesting to have. Rather than just like a full neighborhood area to kind of make, we'll kind of like spread them out over the island. Oh, and we can also do like a little fountain area. We'll make like an elegant like fountain that will kind of have like waterfalls and like rivers surrounded by it. I think that would be really interesting to have as well. But other than that, if you have any other ideas for what I should put on the island, do let me know down in the comments below, because I will definitely be keeping your ideas in the back of my head, because I will probably need them. So yeah, I am super excited to get started on terraforming this island. I'm also a little nervous because, like I said, this is my first time going to be actually terraforming in Animal Crossing. So I'm actually a little nervous on how my ideas are going to be portrayed on the island. But I guess that's part of the fun, isn't it? So with that being said, we finally have flattened the island. It took a really long time, actually. A lot more than I expected it to. I didn't think we had too much to actually terraform, but it ended up taking a lot longer than I thought it would. Next time we will start code shopping, so if you have any codes that are suited for like gothic themed islands, be sure to drop them in the comments below, and we will check them out in the next video. But if you did watch and enjoy this video, be sure to drop a like down below. If you are new around here, consider hitting that subscribe button so you don't miss out on future videos. But that's gonna do it for this one, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye!